Okay, y'all. So basically, this is a follow-up for my post yesterday about Michael's on Instagram and X. But I will be posting this on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, wherever I can post it. So honestly, I'm more angry today than I was yesterday. So the store asked me to DM them on Instagram, which I did. So I messaged them and I basically told them what happened, which I will reiterate for you guys here in a minute. But I basically reiterated the situation, explained to them why I was upset, and they wrote me back and said, give us your email and your phone number. We're going to pass this over to our customer support team and try to get this resolved. Well, I was like, yeah, okay. I wasn't really expecting much from the situation. Well, I just got a phone call from the actual store manager of the store that I was in yesterday, and I don't know how these people become store managers. They have absolutely no customer service skills whatsoever. It started out okay, honestly, and I worked in customer service my whole life, and I worked in retail most of my life until about 6 years ago. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, so I went into the Clarksville, Tennessee store, Michael's, yesterday. It was 11 something. I don't know exactly what time it was because I had gone to Georgia this past weekend for a soccer tournament with my son, and I realized after I'd made my purchase that I had a $5 voucher, and I was like, oh crap, I could have used it, but I was like, that's okay. When I get home, I have a day off, so I'll just go in there and use it. So I'm in there, I'm shopping. I think I ended up finding 2 of the 6x6 Valentine pads and a thing of die cuts, I think is what I ended up. And so I was like, well, it'll be a little bit less than $10. That's fine. I'm not really spending that much money, but, and I don't really need this, but like I want to use my voucher because usually I just let them expire. So I go up to the register area and I realize that they have self-checkouts. And there were 2 other people in line with the cashier, so it's like, oh, I'll just do the self-checkout because I only got 3 items. Well, I scanned my stuff. Well, I went to scan my voucher, and it wouldn't take it. It had said some kind of error, like voucher can't be used due to malfunction or something. And so I got back. I canceled it and got back in line. Well, when it was finally my turn to get up to the register, I was super nice. I was like, hey, I tried to use the self-checkout. It wouldn't take my voucher. And she was like, yeah, we've been having this issue. We were having this problem yesterday. And so at the same time, she calls, I guess, a manager up there and says, hey, I need you to come reset these self-checkouts. They're not taking the vouchers again. She's like, but they've been taking them on the register. So she scans my stuff. She starts scanning the barcode on my voucher, and she did it 2 times and it wouldn't take it. So then she was like, I don't understand. And so she started typing it in, and she was like, can they make these numbers any longer? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it wouldn't take it. So the manager's standing there and she goes, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. She's like, you're going to have to call Michael's. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You can keep your stuff. And I walked out. And it was not about the voucher because I was literally spending maybe $10. It wasn't about the voucher. It was about the way the manager spoke to me. Basically, like, this is your problem that your voucher is not working, and now you get to fix it. And that is what made me mad. So I left my stuff there and I walked out, and then I proceeded to get on social media and make the post I made. Well, the store manager called me today during my lunch and started out okay, basically apologizing for the experience, but he immediately started out with the voucher not working. And that was not my issue. And I made it very plain in my direct messages that was not the issue. It was not about the $5. I could care less about $5 freaking dollars. So I stopped him and I said, it's not about the voucher. It's about the way the manager spoke to me. And he was like, oh, well, I will definitely have a talk with her and whatnot. Well, but he kept talking about this voucher. And so he starts explaining to me how, unfortunately, when stuff like that happens, they can't settle it in the store. They have to call Michael's, I guess, customer support or whatever to get the situation fixed. And I said, first of all, if she'd explained that to me, this would have never been an issue. If she had nicely explained, hey, I know this is frustrating, but, there's nothing we can do in the store because it has to go to corporate, blah, blah. Well, then he proceeds to tell me that that the vouchers typically reset themselves after a little bit. But once they've been scanned, it kind of like deactivates them. So basically, when I scanned it the first time on the self-checkout, it allegedly disabled the voucher or whatever. So by the time I got to the register, it wasn't going to work no matter what. But I find it very hard to believe that they couldn't have like taken $5 off of something or, whatever. But then after all this conversation with him, he says, well, I understand that you had some low dollar items. What? You're going to belittle me because I wasn't spending a ton of money in your store? Are you serious right now? I immediately stopped listening to anything and everything he was saying to me after that, because you do not say those things to somebody who is a customer of your store. That is the worst customer service experience I've ever had. I've never been belittled like that. I've never been made to feel like because I was not spending $1 million in their store that basically my concern was not valid. And I don't even have words. So yeah, so much for getting that situation resolved. I'm very disappointed. I'm very upset. I'm kind of angry. I'm trying to calm myself down. But yeah, that's what happened. And I will not be going back into the Clarksville, Tennessee Michael's craft store.